The garden was perfect. No sorrow, no pain, no fear. The rivers of Eden flowed like crystal. The trees stretched toward heaven, heavy with fruit. And in the cool of the day, the voice of God walked among his creation. Adam and Eve lived in peace, the first man and the first woman. They lacked nothing. But in the center of the garden stood two trees, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God had given them everything, yet he gave them one command. You may eat from every tree in the garden, but from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you must not eat, for when you eat from it, you will surely die. The command was clear. The garden was safe, but a shadow had entered paradise. Among the animals God had made, one was more cunning than the rest, the serpent, silent, watching, waiting. It slithered through the branches of the garden, its eyes fixed on Eve. Then it spoke, not with a roar, but with a whisper. Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden? Eve answered calmly, We may eat fruit from the trees in the garden, but God did say, You must not eat fruit from the tree in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you will die. The serpent's eyes gleamed, and the whisper turned into a lie. You will not certainly die. The words hung in the air, dangerous, deceptive. For God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened. The serpent leaned closer, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Eve looked at the tree again. The fruit was beautiful, perfect. It seemed good for food, pleasant to the eyes, and desirable for gaining wisdom. The serpent had planted a seed of doubt. What if God was holding something back? What if the serpent was telling the truth? The garden fell silent. The moment stretched, and then Eve reached out her hand. She took the fruit. For the first time in human history, a choice was made against God. She took a bite. The world did not explode. The sky did not fall, but something invisible shattered. Eve turned and gave the fruit to Adam. He had heard the command of God with his own ears. He knew the warning, yet he chose the fruit over obedience, and he ate. In that instant, their eyes were opened, but not in the way the serpent promised. They saw something they had never known before: shame. For the first time, they realized they were naked. In panic, they gathered fig leaves and sewed them together to cover themselves. The peace of Eden had vanished. Fear had entered the human heart. Then something familiar echoed through the garden. Footsteps. The sound of the Lord God walking in the cool of the day. Once Adam and Eve had run toward that sound with joy. Now they ran away. They hid among the trees, trying to hide from the one who created the trees. And then the voice of God called out, Adam, where are you? Adam answered from the shadows, I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid. God's voice was steady. Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree I commanded you not to eat from? Adam lowered his head, but instead of confessing, he blamed Eve. The woman you put here with me, she gave me some fruit from the tree, and I ate it. God turned to Eve. What is this you have done? And Eve answered, The serpent deceived me, and I ate. The silence in the garden grew heavy. Sin had entered the world, and nothing would ever be the same. God turned to the serpent. Because you have done this, cursed are you above all livestock and wild animals. You will crawl on your belly, and you will eat dust all the days of your life. Then God spoke words that carried both judgment and a hidden promise. I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel. To Eve, God said, I will greatly increase your pains in childbearing. To Adam, he said, Cursed is the ground because of you. Through painful toil, you will eat from it all the days of your life. The perfect world was broken. Thorns would grow, sweat would fall, and one day, dust would return to dust. But even in judgment, God showed mercy. The fig leaves Adam and Eve had made were not enough, so God made garments of skin for them, and he clothed them. Then the gates of Eden closed. Adam and Eve stepped out of paradise into a world that now carried the weight of sin.
Behind them, the garden faded from sight, guarded by a flaming sword. Humanity had fallen. But the story was not over, for hidden within the curse was the first promise. One day, a descendant of the woman would come, and the serpent who deceived humanity would be defeated. But before that day came, darkness would spread across the earth. Jealousy, violence, blood, and soon, brother would rise against brother.